Women and the priesthood. There have been some misconceptions taught in the church classes over the years that women of the church do not hold or have the priesthood. In fact, women may be ordained with specific keys of the priesthood for callings or assignments. Since the church practices a lay priesthood, this means that all members need to participate to make it work. When a person is baptized and confirmed a member of the church, she or he immediately has access to the priesthood and enabled to receive many priesthood keys when called to serve. The 5 powers of the priesthood: creative redeeming powers, spiritual gifts, performing ordinances, preaching the gospel, and the sealing power. We're going to talk about these 5. Our Heavenly Father has created all worlds and redeemed all worlds and has performed all his works from eternity to eternity. That was a quote from Wilford Woodruff. The Father has given power to Jesus Christ to help protect his creative works from mortal destruction, death, and grave. The spiritual gifts are wonderful works. Their revelation, discernment, healing, power in the ministry, translation, and power over evil. Russell M. Nelson taught that the heavens are just as open to women who are endowed with God's priesthood power from their priesthood covenants as they are to men who bear the priesthood. Baptism, confirmation, administering the sacrament, healing, ordaining, and setting apart with keys of power and authority. Preaching the gospel. President Dallin H. Oaks, first counselor in the first presidency, reiterated this, saying, "When a woman, young or old, is set apart to preach the gospel as a full-time missionary, she is given priesthood authority to perform a priesthood function." The sealing power. Men may bear the priesthood and hold an office in that priesthood, but men cannot advance in their progression without it. The woman is not required to make an extra covenant with God as he does with men. But to receive the highest ordinance in the temple, man must have a woman by his side. He will never be exalted higher than his mate. They will be crowned with glory together, never separate. All children born in the covenant are sealed to them for eternity, no matter what choices the children make in their personal lives. Opportunities. Women do not hold an office in the priesthood. However, a woman has far more priesthood opportunities than you think. Keep listening. Here are some examples. Women are called to participate in councils. The General Church Council consists of young women, primary, Relief Society presidents, and her counselors. In the stake, there are sisters who participate in stake councils too. Now, the ward council is the most important place for sisters to use the keys of the priesthood. Young women, primary, and Relief Society. The Lord's Church is governed through councils. When a new Relief Society sister is called, this is the instruction that is given to her right from the handbook. When you are set apart, you will be given through priesthood keys to lead. You will receive revelation to guide you. I think that's a handy ability to have. As Relief Society president, you are a member of the ward council. You will bring items before the ward for discussion and offer input on matters presented by other ward leaders. The Ward Council meets regularly to discuss and plan how to support members in building testimonies, receiving saving ordinances, keeping covenants, and being consecrated followers of Christ. You assist the Ward Council in understanding and responding to the needs of others and families. The church started this practice many years before any other church. Also, in other faiths, before women can be part of the clergy, they are required to receive seminary training. Most other faiths don't provide these privileges of ministering, giving sermons, or saying prayers upon membership for women in the church. They certainly have to be ordained a priest or reverend to participate in councils. The seminary classes that you took in high school makes you qualified to be a missionary preacher abroad. These countries won't even allow entry of a missionary into their country as a missionary preacher unless they have received seminary training. Now another matter I'd like to speak about concerning the ordinances of the temple. One of the few photographs of the Nauvoo Temple, President Young and other members of the 12 served day and night so that worthy saints could receive their endowments in the Nauvoo Temple before leaving for the Salt Lake Valley. When Joseph Smith and Brigham Young received revelation for the endowment, they immediately provided the ordinance to the women. After this, the women were called to officiate in the ordinances for the women in the temple as priestesses. This still happens today. In fact, my mother was a temple worker in the Portland Temple years ago. She had the priesthood power and authority to officiate the ordinances for the women. When a woman receives her holy endowments, 3 things happen. Number 1, she makes covenants with God to a higher law, more than just the covenant of baptism. There are 5 covenants. Women covenant with God as we keep His commandments and endure to the end. He will bless us with eternal priesthood power, not just the power on earth mentioned at the beginning of this video, but power beyond this life. This power enables us to receive glory, principalities, and receive all that God has. This is the oath and covenant of the priesthood. Number 2, she receives sacred, detailed knowledge of her purpose on earth and her relationship with God. Number 3, she is endowed with holy priesthood power. The endowment actually states this promise: we are given it now while we are on the earth for special purposes, as in making covenants. We receive many great promises as we continue on God's path. We have yet to develop within us the use of this power. It's taken many millennia for men to allow women to own land, vote, and become preachers in other faiths. Some cultures still suppress women. Giving women authority and power is a new concept for the world. We as a people, need more time to understand how to share the power of God. Many of us still don't comprehend the priesthood and all its power. We don't seek the priesthood for glory or prestige. We use our resources to help others with sensitivity and love. Leadership is to support members with their needs. Ministering is caring for others. The work of helping others is challenging, and we are still learning how to do it. You may not have changed your opinions on the matter after this presentation. It is my hope that you have a better understanding of what I consider important concerning the priesthood and women's participation in it. Thanks for watching and listening.